Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Star Agent Starco Gaming here, back with another Marvel Future Fight video. Guys, make sure to check the description below the video for the link to our giveaways, and don't forget to hit the sub and like button if you enjoy the content to show your support to the channel. So guys, today what we're going to talk about is pretty simple. We're going to talk about how to build your characters for Shadowland. Now the first important part, guys, it's really simple. Build your card set properly. If you check the cards above here, it should be right over my face actually. There should be a little white banner. You have a card there. You have actually the link to the video for my beginner guide for card set. Pretty simple. Watch this video, guys, if you have no idea how to build your cards or if your card sucks, and that will help you out a lot, because you gotta get that cooldown. You need to cap your cooldown on every single Shadowland characters. You need to cap that ignore defense. That's like one of the most important stats, and you need to have decent attack speed. So with that cards guide, guys, you can get all that taken care of pretty damn easy. So now some people are going to ask, why am I making this video now? You know, Infinite Shadowland has been out for a while because nobody cared about getting as high as possible before they added first clear rewards. First clear reward is so big, guys. The rewards you actually get from some of those stages are amazing, and the baseline you want to reach now is stage 80 at least one time in your lifetime, so you can actually get that mega uniform ticket. This is a huge deal, a huge freaking deal, guys, to get that mega uniform ticket. And hopefully after you're done watching this video, you can actually work on your roster better to be able to achieve that objective. That is the objective of this video, guys. It's pretty simple. Now, what characters can actually be optimized to get to that point? Well, that we actually have that cover with the tier list. We're gonna ignore tier 3 and tier 4 section, guys. Those characters, yes, some characters can do past level 30, guys, and some in the early 40s, but they are not characters you should be focusing on, except for, you know, a good leadership, a good support, you know, like debuff removal, increased damage done, increasing war dodge, you know, that kind of stuff. But overall, those characters are just support characters. They are just support characters past level 30. The characters you really want to focus on are from tier 2, tier 1, and meta in the tier list section. Now, if we look at the tier 2 section here, those characters are usually characters used for 40 plus. Stage 40 plus. That's where you want. They can probably, most of them can get up to stage 60 or close to stage 60. Some of them a little bit weaker around stage 50, but you get the point. Those are the characters you want to use between stage 40 and stage 59. Now, when you reach a stage 60, you want to start using those tier 1 characters. Tier 1 characters are going to get you stage 62. With those characters, you could probably go up to about stage 75, to be honest. So you wanted some of them in there, and some of them can actually go up to stage 80. Like, for example, Sentinel is actually very strong. Sabretooth, you know, those War Machine, those characters can actually go up to close to stage 80, maybe stage 79, maybe some of them a little bit over 80 if you have very good cards. So those are the characters you want to pretty much use from stage 60 to stage 75. Then when you're past stage 75 or 70, depending on the amount of characters you actually have, you want to go with the meta characters and push at least stage 80 and plus. Some of those characters can even go stage 100 plus. They are very strong if they are built properly. So pretty much this is kind of the tier list for Shadowland at the same time as my official tier list, guys. You can actually find the picture of this tier list on my Discord server into the tier list channel, by the way. But now let's go back to the game, guys, and let's jump in the first kind of build. You can actually set your characters, because there are actually 4 kind of build. We're going to be covering all of them right now. So let's start with the full offensive build, guys. The offensive build is actually pretty damn simple, guys. Here we're gonna have the perfect example. First, Ezo. You want to go with offensive Ezo set, either Hawkeye, Overdrive, or Power of the Angry Hulk. That's actually the three best offensive Ezo, well, the only offensive Ezo in the game. Then custom gear, you want to go with something with a proc. It doesn't matter if it's not, optimal in the main stats. Well, it's better if it is, like critical damage, critical rate, in your dodge are usually the three most important main stats to have on the custom gear, but you need the damage proc. And the damage proc, the only good damage proc, guys, it's increased damage by a X amount of percentage per attack for one attack. Those are the damage proc we're talking about. The energy damage proc, no, they're trash. Physical damage proc, they're trash. Freeze damage proc, it's trash. It's all about the increased damage. I will say 140% plus will actually be optimal here. That is what you want when you actually build a full offensive characters guide. You have to keep in mind that you can only build full offensive characters if they do have the ability to survive in Shadowland. If the character does not have a surviving ability, then you're gonna have to go with the defensive build, which is the next one we're gonna see in this video, guys. Next here, guys, we're gonna have the perfect example for defensive build. First, defensive build is not about defense, guys. You do need some defense, but you do need some offensive on it. Especially if you want to reach stage 80, you cannot just go, full binary power Ezo set and invincibility and whatever defensive stats you want on your custom gear. You need some damage on it anyway. So first, Ezo set, I recommend to keep going with offensive Ezo set here. Unless the characters really need that defensive Ezo set to survive the specific floor, you're going to use him. You want to go offensive. So Power of Angry Hulk, Overdrive, or Hawkeyes again as Ezo set is mandatory here. What you want to go as defensive here is pretty much the custom gear. You want well, whatever in the first stat that's best for you. Usually immunity guard break is actually optimal for defensive with invincibility. Guard break immunity, invincibility is usually the best. And if you can have a third stat that's actually a little bit offensive, that will help your characters. Like here we have the perfect example. We have extra fire damage for this guy. It's actually very good. Why do I have this obelisk on him? I'll give you a little example here on why, guys. It's pretty simple. This guy is going to be the guy to fight the fire floors. You know, the floors you fight Carnage and Agent Venom. And those characters can actually stun the crap out of you and just keep you stunned for like 5-6 seconds and murder you. So having a defensive build on the characters like that guarantees you that if you actually get stuck in a stun position, you are still gonna survive, and you cannot actually get guard broken by all those abilities they do that can actually guard break you to lead you to being stunned. So this is actually the perfect example of a good obelisk to use on a character that does great damage but could actually use the little bit of survivability to not have to redo the floor over and over until you get a good run. So that pretty much covers the defensive build. Next, guys, we're gonna move to something kind of different here. Very different. The next build, guys, we're gonna talk about is the songbird counter. We have a few floors actually as Songbird, and the hero floor that you actually face Songbird a lot is actually one of the floors that RNG likes to give you the most. It's sad, but it happens. So we're gonna figure out a way to actually counter this floor, and it's actually pretty damn simple. Again, Ezo sets, you want to go full offensive. That's every single build. It's offensive on Ezo set, guys. So again, Overdrive, Power the Angry Hulk, or Hawkeye's Ezo set, whatever you get, whatever suit the best your characters you go with. And then for the obelisk, it's pretty simple. You want to have immunity to stun. immunity to stun. That way you cannot get locked by songbird and you are in business pretty much. With some offensive stats, I recommend critical damage with immunity to stun. That will actually be pretty much the best. And here we actually have something extra on this character. We have invincibility, so even if he takes a little bit of damage, he can actually still survive the floor pretty damn easy, man. And having this stun immunity is just, it's just a dream, man, to face all those songbird floor. How many people who are watching this video, when they see songbird, do you reroll this floor most of the time? I'm sure, I can guarantee that most of you do, guys. So by having a stun, resist, obelisk, and immunity to stun effect on your obelisk, you make yourself able to just jump in that floor and destroy it pretty easy, instead of spending gold till you get an actually appropriate floor for your roster. So this is pretty much one of the obelisks that is the most underrated for Shadowland, because it's only usable there, but you have so many characters you only use for Shadowland that could actually use this kind of setup. And next, guys, we're going to talk about the last kind of obelisk, and that is another kind of obelisk that a lot of people don't even think about. For the next kind of build, guys, it's actually something pretty unique. A lot of people fight those, this Spider-Verse floor, and they're like, man, how can you do this? How can you survive that web resist and all that kind of stuff without the support lead? Well, it's pretty simple, guys. Again, to face this Spider-Verse floor, guys, you need a combat character or a universal character. So here we have the perfect example with Hulkbuster. Again, with Iso set, it's full offensive, Hawkeye's overdrive will power the Angry Hulk. It's always the optimal for this fella, well, for any Shadowland characters. Then custom gear. Custom gear, pretty much what you want for this Spider-Verse floor is immunity to web effect. That's the most important. You take immunity to web effect, you add a proc, and you put that in a strong character like Hulkbuster, and this guy can clear up to about stage 70 Spider-Verse without even a ignore dodge lead. You just need to be able to survive that web resist, and you can just blow the hell up of those Spider-Mans, pretty much, a Spider-Woman, and whatever you want to call them. This Spider-Verse floor is actually a total joke on my Hulkbuster, just because of this obelisk. Put that obelisk on a few combat characters, and every time you face a Spider-Verse floor, guys, you just gonna wreck it without any problems. Like, you have this guy, you have Goliath that could actually be very strong on him. You see my point here. You put down those kind of characters and they just wreck that Spider-Verse floor. So that pretty much conclude the 4 different builds you want to have. You have build for the 2 most annoying floors, guys, the Spider-Verse, the Songbird floors. So by covering those kind of floors, you actually reduce the amount of money you're gonna have to spend weekly on re-rolling those floors by so freaking much, just by not having to cancel any of those floors. We talk about defensive build, very, very important on certain floors that it might actually be a game changer in being a one shot or surviving. And we have the offensive build that is good for most of the floor, guys, pretty much. So guys, if you have any feedback on this video on what you do differently about building your characters, make sure to let me know in the comment section below this video so we can actually talk about it. Again, guys, make sure to check the description below the video for the link to our giveaways. Don't forget to hit the sub and like button if you enjoy the content to show your support to the channel. And guys, on that, Star Agent Starco Gaming is out.